Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel, Gajpal A Learnings. In this video we are going to study about the topic, endocrine system, which is a part of B Pharmacy first semester, Human Anatomy and Physiology Part 1. So let's start. Contents to be covered in this topic is, definition of endocrine system, classification of hormones, mechanism of hormone action, structure, function, disorders, and treatment involved in organs of endocrine systems disorders. First of all, let us see about introduction to endocrine system. The endocrine system is a complex network of glands and organs in the human body that produce and secrete hormones. It is responsible for regulating various bodily functions and maintaining homeostasis, balance, within the body. The glands of the endocrine system include the hypothalamus, pituitary gland, thyroid gland, parathyroid glands, adrenal glands, pancreas, pancreatic gland, pineal gland, and thymus. These glands release hormones directly into the bloodstream, where they are transported to target tissues or organs throughout the body. Here, hormones are chemical messengers that help regulate numerous processes, including growth and development, metabolism, reproduction, mood, and response to stress. They act on specific target cells or organs, binding to receptors and initiating a cascade of physiological responses. The endocrine system works in coordination with the nervous system to maintain overall bodily functions and ensure the body's internal environment remains stable. It plays a crucial role in controlling processes such as metabolism, energy balance, water and electrolyte balance, sexual development and function, response to stress, and many other vital functions necessary for overall health and well-being. Now the classification of hormones. Hormones can be classified based on various criteria, including their chemical structure, mode of action, and the glands that produce them. Here are some common classifications of hormones. According to chemical structure. First, steroid hormones. These hormones are derived from cholesterol and include hormones such as cortisol, estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. They are lipid-soluble and can pass through cell membranes. Second, peptide and protein hormones. These hormones are composed of amino acids and include hormones such as insulin, growth hormone, and oxytocin. They are typically water-soluble and require specific receptors on the cell surface to exert their effects. Third, amino acid-derived hormones. These hormones are derived from amino acids, such as thyroid hormones, T3 and T4, and epinephrine, adrenaline. According to mode of action. First, endocrine hormones. These hormones are released into the bloodstream and act on target cells or organs located at a distance from the gland that produces them. Second, paracrine hormones. These hormones act locally on neighboring cells without entering the bloodstream. They exert their effects within a short distance from the site of their production. Third, autocrine hormones. These hormones act on the same cells that produce them, exerting a regulatory effect on those cells. Then according to glandular origin. First, hypothalamic hormones. These hormones are produced by the hypothalamus and regulate the release of hormones from the pituitary gland. Second, pituitary hormones. These hormones are produced by the pituitary gland and include growth hormone, prolactin, luteinizing hormone, follicle-stimulating hormone, and others. Third, thyroid hormones. Thyroid hormones, including thyroxine, T4, and triiodothyronine, T3, are produced by the thyroid gland. Fourth, adrenal hormones. These hormones are produced by the adrenal glands and include cortisol, aldosterone, and adrenaline. Fifth, pancreatic hormones. Insulin and glucagon are hormones produced by the pancreas and regulate blood glucose levels. Next is the mechanisms of hormones action. The mechanism of hormone action can vary depending on the type of hormone and the target cells or organs involved. However, here's a general overview of the mechanisms by which hormones exert their effects. First is steroid hormones. Steroid hormones, such as cortisol, estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone, are lipid-soluble and can easily pass through the cell membrane. Once inside the target cell, they bind to specific intracellular receptors, forming a hormone receptor complex. The hormone receptor complex then moves into the nucleus of the cell, where it binds to specific DNA sequences called hormone response elements. Thus binding initiates gene transcription, resulting in the production of new proteins that carry out the hormone-specific effects on the target cell. Second, peptide and protein hormones. Peptide and protein hormones, such as insulin, growth hormone, and oxytocin, are water-soluble and cannot pass through the cell membrane. These hormones bind to specific receptors located on the cell surface. Receptor binding triggers a series of intracellular signaling events, often involving second messenger systems such as cyclic adenosine monophosphate (CAMP) or calcium icons. The signaling cascade ultimately leads to changes in the cell's behavior, such as activation of enzymes, alteration of gene expression, or modulation of ion channels. Third, amino acid-derived hormones. Amino acid-derived hormones, such as thyroid hormones T3 and T4, and epinephrine, adrenaline, have mechanisms of action similar to both steroid hormones and peptide hormones, depending on the specific hormone. Thyroid hormones act as lipid-soluble hormones and bind to intracellular receptors, similar to steroid hormones. Epinephrine, on the other hand, acts primarily through cell surface receptors and second messenger systems, similar to peptide hormones. In summary, the mechanism of hormone action involves hormone-receptor interactions, either at the cell surface or within the cell. This interaction triggers intracellular signaling pathways that lead to specific physiological responses in target cells or organs. Now our next topic is structure, function, disorders and treatments involved in glands of endocrine system. First is pituitary gland. Structure of pituitary gland. The pituitary gland, also known as the master gland, is a small pea-sized gland located at the base of the brain, below the hypothalamus. It consists of two main parts, the anterior pituitary, adenohypophyses, and the posterior pituitary, neurohypophyses. Function of pituitary gland. The pituitary gland secretes several hormones that regulate various bodily functions. The anterior pituitary produces hormones such as growth hormone, GH, prolactin, adrenocorticotropic hormone, ACTH, thyroid-stimulating hormone, TSH, follicle-stimulating hormone, FSH, and luteinizing hormone, LH. Disorders of pituitary gland. Disorders of the pituitary gland include pituitary tumors, benign or malignant, which can lead to hormone overproduction or underproduction. Examples of conditions associated with pituitary dysfunction include acromegaly, excessive growth hormone, Cushing's disease, excessive ACTH, hypopituitarism, insufficient pituitary hormone production, and prolactinomas, prolactin-secreting tumors. Treatment of pituitary gland. Treatment options depend on the specific disorder and may include medications, hormone replacement therapy or medications to suppress excessive hormone production. Surgery, surgical removal of pituitary tumors or radiation therapy to shrink tumors. Hormone therapy, replacement of deficient pituitary hormones. This is the location of the pituitary gland. Second is thyroid gland. Structure. The thyroid gland is a butterfly-shaped gland located in the front of the neck, just below the Adam's apple. It consists of two lobes connected by a narrow isthmus. Function of thyroid gland. The thyroid gland produces hormones called thyroxine, T4, and triiodothyronine, T3, which regulate metabolism, growth, and development. These hormones are essential for maintaining body temperature, energy levels, and normal functioning of organs and tissues. Disorders of thyroid gland. Thyroid disorders include hypothyroidism, excessive thyroid hormone production, hypothyroidism, insufficient thyroid hormone production, goiter, enlargement of the thyroid gland, and thyroid nodules. Conditions like Graves' disease and Hashimoto's thyroiditis are autoimmune disorders affecting the thyroid gland. Treatment for overactive thyroid. Medications, antithyroid drugs to reduce the production of thyroid hormones. Radioactive iodine therapy, to destroy or reduce the activity of the thyroid gland. Surgery, surgical removal of part or all of the thyroid gland. For hypothyroidism, underactive thyroid. Medications, hormone replacement therapy with synthetic thyroid hormones, example, levothyroxine, to restore normal thyroid function. Location for thyroid gland. Third is parathyroid gland. Structure. The parathyroid glands are four small pea-sized glands located near or attached to the backside of the thyroid gland. Function of parathyroid gland. The thyroid gland produces hormones called thyroxine, T4, and triiodothyronine, T3, which regulate metabolism, growth, and development. These hormones are essential for maintaining body temperature, energy levels, and normal functioning of organs and tissues. Disorders of parathyroid gland. Thyroid disorders include hypothyroidism, excessive thyroid hormone production, hypothyroidism, insufficient thyroid hormone production, goiter, enlargement of the thyroid gland, and thyroid nodules. Conditions like Graves' disease and Hashimoto's thyroiditis are autoimmune disorders affecting the thyroid gland. Treatment. For overactive thyroid. Medications. Antithyroid drugs to reduce the production of thyroid hormones. Radioactive iodine therapy, to destroy or reduce the activity of the thyroid gland. Surgery, surgical removal of part or all of the thyroid gland. For hypothyroidism, underactive thyroid. Medications, hormone replacement therapy with synthetic thyroid hormones, e.g., levothyroxine, to restore normal thyroid function. Location for parathyroid hormone. Now the fourth is adrenal gland. Structure. The adrenal glands are two small triangular-shaped glands located on top of each kidney. Function. The adrenal glands have two main parts, the outer adrenal cortex and the inner adrenal medulla. The adrenal cortex produces hormones such as cortisol, a stress hormone, aldosterone, regulates salt and water balance, and sex hormones, example estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. The adrenal medulla produces adrenaline, epinephrine, and noradrenaline, norepinephrine, which play a role in the body's response to stress. Disorders of adrenal gland. Adrenal disorders include adrenal insufficiency, such as Addison's disease, which involves inadequate production of adrenal hormones, and Cushing's syndrome, characterized by excessive cortisol production. Adrenal tumors, such as adrenal adenomas or adrenal carcinomas, can also affect hormone production. Treatment involved. For adrenal insufficiency, example, Addison's disease. Hormone replacement therapy. Daily administration of glucocorticoids, such as hydrocortisone, and mineralocorticoids, such as fludrocortisone, to replace deficient adrenal hormones. For Cushing's syndrome, excess cortisol. Treatment depends on the cause and may include medications, gradual tapering of glucocorticoid medications, if the syndrome is medication-induced. Surgery or radiation therapy, removal or treatment of tumors causing excess cortisol production. Location of adrenal gland. Now the fifth is pancreas. Structure. The pancreas is a gland located behind the stomach and is both an endocrine and exocrine gland. It consists of clusters of cells called islets of Langerhans, which contain endocrine cells. Function of pancreas. The endocrine cells in the pancreas, specifically the beta cells, produce insulin, which helps regulate blood sugar levels, and the alpha cells produce glucagon, which increases blood sugar levels. These hormones play a vital role in glucose metabolism. Disorders of pancreas. Pancreatic disorders include type 1 diabetes, insufficient insulin production, type 2 diabetes, insulin resistance, pancreatic cancer, and pancreatitis, inflammation of the pancreas. Treatment involved. For type 1 diabetes, insulin therapy, daily insulin injections or use of insulin pumps to regulate blood sugar levels. And for type 2 diabetes, lifestyle modifications, healthy diet, regular exercise, and weight management. Oral medications, drugs that improve insulin sensitivity or stimulate insulin release. Insulin therapy, required in some cases when oral medications are insufficient. This is the image of pancreas. Now the sixth is pineal gland. Structure. The pineal gland is a small gland located in the brain, deep within the brain's central part. Function. The pineal gland produces melatonin, a hormone involved in the regulation of sleep-wake cycles, circadian rhythm, and the body's response to light and darkness. Disorders of pineal gland. Pineal gland disorders are relatively rare. However, tumors of the pineal gland, such as pinealomas, can occur and may affect melatonin production or disrupt the normal functioning of the gland. For tumors or other abnormalities affecting the pineal gland, treatment may involve surgery, radiation therapy, or chemotherapy, depending on the situation. Location of pineal gland. And now the last is thymus gland. Structure of the thymus gland. The thymus is a small gland located in the upper chest, behind the sternum. Function. The thymus plays a crucial role in the development and maturation of T lymphocytes, a type of white blood cell, and the immune system. It is particularly active during childhood and adolescence. Disorders of the thymus gland. Thymus disorders are relatively uncommon. However, thymus abnormalities, such as thymomas, tumors of the thymus, can occur and may affect immune function. Treatments may involve: first, surgery, surgical removal of thymus tumors or abnormal tissue. Second, medications. In some cases, medications may be used to manage symptoms or suppress immune responses. Location of thymus gland. Thanks for watching this video.